Hello, I'm Blaine Bishop.
And I'm Jared Forbes.
And this is Irrelevant Debates, where we talk about the most worthless but useful topics. Today's topic is James Bond versus Batman. To start off the debate, I'll hand it over to Mr. Forbes to begin.
First off, Batman is an egotistical maniac. He spends millions to dress in black and fight bad guys, just to send them off to a prison where they'll escape so he can fight them again, buffering his ego, while James Bond is fighting for honor and to save people. Second, he's a criminal. Unlike James Bond, who fights for his country, Batman is just a vigilante. And my opponent might not know this, but that's completely illegal. He also owns a $33.1 billion corporation. My opponent most assuredly thinks, but that's not a crime. And on its own, it's not, but Batman uses the money for personal uses, otherwise known as embezzling, which is completely illegal. Last, Batman is sleep deprived. He runs a billion-dollar corporation, poorly at that, all day and fights villains all night. And any free time he gets, he spends it on training, which literally involves banging his head into walls. Statistics show, with the amount of sleep he gets, that he should be performing at the same level as a person with a 0.08 blood alcohol level. And that's why James Bond is infinitely better than Batman.
To counter what Mr. Forbes said, Batman is not an egotistical maniac. He donates much of his money to charity, to orphans, because he was an orphan. What Jared said about Batman's training about banging his head against the wall is actually much different than that. Batman was trained through the League of Shadows, and he's considered to be a high-end assassin, unlike Mr. Bond. Mr. Bond is known to be a drunk and run around and just do whatever he wants, while Batman is a vigilante fighting crime that Gotham police officers cannot stop themselves. Additionally, Batman is a billionaire, while Bond depends on his agency for all of his weapons, tactics, and vehicles.
All right, now for my opponent's pitiful attempt to save Batman.
Thank you, Mr. Forbes. Now, as many people say, Batman and James Bond are both very similar people. However, this is incorrect. Batman does not kill, unlike my enemy said. My enemy is arguing for, James Bond. Batman is also slightly smarter because he was trained by the League of Shadows. He's in perfect mental and physical condition. Batman has many allies, notably Robin and Batgirl, who would defeat Bond if they were to fight. Batman has many more gadgets than James Bond, and they're much more complicated. James Bond may drive cool cars, while Batman has a Batmobile, which is bulletproof and has many weapons on it. Like I said earlier, Bond is also a known drunk, so he could be drunk when he's fighting, and he's very unsecretive, unlike Batman, who uses the stealth to his advantage. Batman has bulletproof armor, and it has advanced fighting techniques. Mr. Bond is very dependent on his agency for his weapons, tactics, and intel, while Batman has someone known as Oracle, who maps out where he's going and his enemies and their weaknesses.
James Bond might not have a superhero to give him intel, or enough money to fund his own projects. But he's government funded. He has a knowledgeable research facility called MI6, which makes it so much better. He's doing this legally. He's doing this safer than Batman. Where Batman runs around rampantly destroying subway systems, James Bond gets his guy, gets out, and leaves. James Bond is better than Batman because he does this professionally.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today, but be sure to join us next time where we debate even more worthless topics. I'm Blaine Bishop.
And I'm Jared Forbes.
And this has been Irrelevant Debates.